Yo, what's good, guys? A lot of people requested that I make videos on what macros are and what the kill zones are. So I'll start off by talking about macros. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about macros. So I use macros every day when I trade. So these are gonna be your macros. So for your New York AM session, you're gonna have the 850 to 910 macro, 950 to 1010, 1050 to 1110, 1150 to 1210, and then for your New York PM macros, you're gonna have your 1250 to 110, 150 to 210, your 250 to 310, and then your end of day macro, which is your 350 to 4 o'clock. So these would just be considered your normal macros. Let me just write this on top. So these are just normal macros. So these are your first macros, and there's a second set of macros which a lot of people actually don't know about, which are your turtle soup macros. So these would be essentially, instead of the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of the hour, it would be the first 20 minutes and the first and last 20 minutes of the hour. So I'll just write them all out real quick. $11.22, $11.40. And then for your PM, this is so annoying to type all of this out. 220 to 240, 320 to 340, and then lastly you have, oh no, this is all, yeah. So these are your two types of macros. So what's important, or what makes macros so great? So basically, when you have a candle, right, you're gonna have the open and either a high, then a low, then a close. So for a bearish candle, this is what you would want to see. And then for a bullish candle, you'll have an open, low, high, close. So taking this framework into consideration, so each one of these macros is specific to each candle. So let's say you have an hourly candle. So this is your candle right here. So this is your candle. So this candle is going to have, like I said before, the open. Let me make this lower wick a bit longer. Open, low, high, close. So you can split this 1 hour candle into 4 different quarters. So 1 hour candle split into 4 essentially cycles. So what are these cycles? It will either be XAMD or AMDX. X being either continuation or reversal. So each one of these cycles, so if you take the hourly candle, and you split it into 4, you're going to get 15-minute intervals, right? So it'll be either XAMD or AMDX. So it's going to be 15 minutes of accumulation, then manipulation, distribution, and then X, or it'll be reversal, continuation, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So when we look at the macros, you notice how it's the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of what? A previous 1 hour candle and a new 1 hour candle. So from 8:50 to 9:10, based off what 8 o'clock to 8:50 did, or well 8:45, you can base what the 8:50 to 9:10 macro will do. So if from 8 o'clock, let's say the 8 o'clock 1 hour candle opens and you have an accumulation. So you'd anticipate that from 8 o'clock to 8:15, that would be your accumulation. 8:15 to the 8:30 would be your manipulation. And then 8:30 to 8:45 would be your manipulation, or your distribution, sorry. And then X would be either continuation or reversal. So based off whether or not the draw on liquidity was met, the macro will either reverse or continue. So it's really important that you see what the previous cycles did within the hourly candle. So this is also why the 4-hour PO3 works at 10 o'clock. So what I like to do is trade the 6-hour PO3. So this is the 6-hour PO3 from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. So essentially you can break this candle up into 4 quarters again. So it would be from 6 o'clock to 7:30, 7:30 to 9, 9 to 10:30, and then lastly 10:30 to 12. So like I previously mentioned, a candle will either have an XAMD profile or an AMDX profile. So taking this into account and mixing it with the macros, so let's say that 6 to 7:30 continues the previous trend. So let's say we were in an uptrend already, and then so let's say this is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock continues the trend, and then what will happen after this continuation and accumulation? So this is why I tell you guys to pay attention to what 8:30, 9:30, and 10 do, because if 6 o'clock to 7:30 accumulate, what do you expect 7:30, or if 6 o'clock to 7:30 continues or reverses, what do you expect 7:30 to 9 to do? What do you expect 7:30 and 9 o'clock to do? Accumulate. So if we have an accumulation during 8:30, that would lead to a 9:30 manipulation, which would be your Judas swing down here, and then that will lead into a 10 o'clock distribution. So if you pair this with the macros, because essentially from 7:30 to 9 o'clock there's going to be a 1 hour candle. Within each one of these times there's going to be a 1 hour candle. So I love to trade the 9:50 to 10:10 macro because so the general idea behind 10 o'clock is that it will either reverse or continue the previous trend. So when 9:50 rolls around on the chart and the draw on liquidity has not been met, you want to look for an SMT or anything that confirms a reversal or a continuation into the draw on liquidity. And 10 o'clock will only reverse if the draw on liquidity has been met. So with the turtle soup macros, the reason why these work is because it's within the first or the second and third quarter of the 1 hour candle. So like I said, it will either be XAMD or AMDX, and you can see how manipulation falls within either the second or the third quarter of that candle. So you look for a manipulation, which will be high probable turtle soup, within these times to then set up the normal macros per se. So anytime you guys go into the charts, you want to look at what 8:30 does, which will then lead you to anticipate what 9:30 will do, which will then lead you to anticipate what 10 o'clock will do. So that's just the general sequence that I look for every single day heading into the markets. And you want to look for these profiles, or you want to look for the 8:30 manipulation profile whenever we have high impact news, because the news driver is typically a manipulation move. Let's move on to Killzones. So there are going to be 3 Killzones. So your first Killzone is going to be your Asia Killzone, which is going to be from 8 p.m. Eastern time to midnight. And then you're going to have your London Killzone, which will be from 2 a.m. Eastern time to, it's either 5 or 6, I'm pretty sure, Eastern time. And then your New York Killzone for indices, which is either 7:30 or 8:30 to 4 p.m. So this is just the basic information about the Killzones, but I would say that for New York, you really want to focus on the AM session for futures, which opens at 8:30 and then closes at 12. So if you can't find a trade in between this time frame from 8:30 to 12, you can anticipate a manipulation at 1:30, which is the true PM session open. And also think about it, 1:30 is also the second quarter, which is also the manipulation phase of the new 1 hour candle. I guess that's pretty much it for this video, but I'll try my best to record more videos. I've been pretty busy lately, but feel free to ask me any questions, and see you guys another time.